Caterpillar paid $8.6 billion for Bucyrus International in 2011. The Bucyrus headquarters sat in South Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and the deal handed Caterpillar the world's most legendary mining shovel lineup overnight. The acquisition included the electric rope shovels, the drag lines, and the Bucyrus RH400 hydraulic mining shovel that would later be rebadged as the CAT 6090. The plan was to put yellow iron at every iron ore pit and copper face on Earth. But 15 years later, the world's biggest hydraulic mining shovel rolls off a production line in Colmar, France, with Liebherr stamped on the side. The CAT 6090 is listed as non-current on Caterpillar's own product configurator. And in the 800-ton class, the Liebherr R9800 has no current production Caterpillar Challenger. To understand what Caterpillar lost, you have to understand what Caterpillar had. Through the early 2000s, the Caterpillar 5230B was the largest hydraulic mining shovel Caterpillar built in-house. The 5230B worked overburden benches at copper pits in Arizona and iron ore mines in Minnesota. It was a serious machine. But the ultra-class category sat above the 5230B, and Caterpillar did not have a player there. The ultra-class shelf belonged to Komatsu's PC8000, to Hitachi's EX5600, and above all, to the Bucyrus RH200 and RH400. The Bucyrus RH400, originally engineered by Orenstein and Koppel, then built by Terex, then by Bucyrus, was the largest hydraulic mining shovel in production at the time. It weighed nearly 1,000 tons in face shovel configuration with a 40 cubic meter bucket. Mining operators wanting to load 320-ton haul trucks like the CAT 797F in 3 or 4 passes had effectively one option. That option was Bucyrus, not Caterpillar. CAT dominated the haul truck side of the equation with the 793, the 795, and the 797. But the loading tool, the shovel that fed those trucks, was a Bucyrus problem. Caterpillar had not solved on its own, so Caterpillar bought the answer. On November 15, 2010, Caterpillar chairman Doug Oberhelman announced an agreement to acquire Bucyrus International for $92 per share. The cash component to Bucyrus shareholders came to $7.6 billion. With assumed debt of roughly $1 billion, the total transaction value was $8.6 billion. It was the largest acquisition in Caterpillar's history, with a 32% premium over Bucyrus's prior closing share price, and Bucyrus stock jumped 30% in pre-market trading the morning of the announcement. The Bucyrus product portfolio coming to Caterpillar was extensive. The 495 series electric rope shovels would be rebadged as the CAT 7495. The Bucyrus RH200, RH340, and RH400 hydraulic mining shovels would become the CAT 6020, 6040, and 6090. The Bucyrus drag lines and longwall shearers came over too. The South Milwaukee, Wisconsin manufacturing facility, where Bucyrus had built shovels since 1893, was folded into Caterpillar's new Surface Mining and Technology Group. The plan Oberhelman framed to Wall Street was to combine CAT's haul truck dominance with Bucyrus's shovel dominance and capture every step of the truck and shovel mine flow. The deal cleared the United States Department of Justice in May 2011 and closed on July 8, 2011. Bucyrus, the company name that had built mining shovels at South Milwaukee since 1893, ceased to exist as an independent brand. Then the mining cycle turned. Iron ore prices peaked in early 2011 and started a 4-year decline, with copper and coal pulled down behind it. By 2014, the global mining capex cycle was collapsing, and orders for new ultra-class hydraulic shovels at the South Milwaukee plant slowed dramatically. Caterpillar's Resource Industries segment, the segment that absorbed the Bucyrus business, saw revenue drop year after year. The CAT 6090 hydraulic mining shovel, the Bucyrus RH400 with new yellow paint, was now competing in a smaller global market against Liebherr, Komatsu, and Hitachi for fewer orders. Workforce cuts hit the South Milwaukee facility. By 2016, the original Bucyrus main plant on 10th Avenue ceased full-scale production after 123 years of continuous operation, with shovel work consolidated to other parts of the South Milwaukee property. Caterpillar still made rope shovels and drag lines at South Milwaukee. But the integration of Bucyrus from 2014 to 2016 capex collapse cost CAT the Bucyrus name, a generation of South Milwaukee jobs, and the momentum it had bought. This is the part that matters for what comes next. There are 2 kinds of large mining shovels operating in open pits today. There are electric rope shovels and there are hydraulic mining shovels. Rope shovels, like the CAT 7495 at South Milwaukee, are cable-driven. They have a hoist rope that lifts the dipper, a crowd mechanism that pushes the dipper into the bank, and a swing system that rotates the boom. Rope shovels are huge, slow-cycling, and built for very long-life iron ore and oil sands operations. Hydraulic mining shovels, like the CAT 6090 and the Liebherr R9800, are completely different. The boom and stick are powered by hydraulic cylinders, the cycle times are faster, and the machine is lighter for the same payload class. Hydraulic shovels can run as backhoe configuration or face shovel configuration, and they can be relocated more easily across a pit. Mine operators today choose between rope and hydraulic depending on pit life, throughput, and material. Liebherr never built rope shovels and put everything into hydraulics. The world's biggest hydraulic mining shovel today is the one Liebherr ships out of Colmar, France. If you want more videos like this on what's actually happening in the mining and heavy equipment world, hit the subscribe button. We post every week. The story of how Liebherr built the R9800 starts at a factory in Alsace. Liebherr Mining Equipment. Colmar SAS sits in Colmar, France, near the German border. Liebherr had been making hydraulic excavators in Colmar since 1961. By 2010, the Colmar plant was already building the Liebherr R996B, an 800-ton class hydraulic mining shovel that competed with the Bucyrus RH400 directly. In 2014, 3 years after the Bucyrus acquisition closed, Liebherr launched the R9800 from Colmar as the new ultra-class flagship. The face shovel configuration weighed 810 tons, the standard bucket carried 42 cubic meters of material per pass, and twin Liebherr V16 diesel engines with 60 liters of displacement each pushed combined output past 4,000 horsepower. The newer G6 generation of the R9800, with the EVO bucket, increased the backhoe bucket capacity to 47.5 cubic meters and added an electric drive option pushing power output past 4,500 horsepower. Building one R9800 takes 12 weeks at Colmar, and shipping one to a mine site takes 28 trucks. While Liebherr was launching the R9800 from Colmar in 2014, Caterpillar was managing the Bucyrus integration through the 2014 to 2016 CapEx collapse. The CAT 6090 lineup took the brunt of the global mining order slowdown. The R9800 was a brand new ultra-class platform from a German family-owned manufacturer. The CAT 6090 was a relabeled Bucyrus design from the late 1990s. On paper, the CAT 6090 should have held its own. The CAT 6090 face shovel weighed 980 tons, actually heavier than the R9800. The CAT 6090 ran twin Cummins QSK60 diesel engines, producing roughly 4,500 horsepower combined. By raw weight and engine output, the 6090 was the bigger machine. But notice the engine. The CAT 6090 ran Cummins power, not Caterpillar power, because the 6090 was the Bucyrus RH400 with yellow paint and a CAT decal. Mining operators specifying new ultra-class hydraulic shovels in the late 2010s and early 2020s did not buy the CAT 6090 in the volumes Caterpillar needed. Liebherr captured the new orders. The R9800 went to Yancoal in New South Wales, to Hancock Prospecting in the Pilbara, and to Yellow Iron Fleet at the Atlas Campaspe mineral sands operation. The R9600, a slightly smaller Liebherr ultra-class machine, captured a separate slice of orders. The Liebherr R996B kept selling to existing fleets that wanted continuity. By the early 2020s, the CAT 6090 FS was redesignated non-current on Caterpillar's own product configurator. Non-current is Caterpillar's terminology for a machine no longer sold new, but still supported with parts and service. The CAT 6090 was beaten in the market not by raw spec, but by mine planner preference, by Liebherr's family-owned direct service model, and by a German manufacturer that built its entire mining brand around hydraulic shovels. Look at what Yancoal did with their R9800 fleet at Mount Thorley Warkworth in the Hunter Valley of New South Wales. Mount Thorley Warkworth is an open-cut coal mine. Yancoal runs two R9800 G6 excavators alongside two R9400 excavators on overburden. In November 2024, Liebherr Australia repowered both Mount Thorley Warkworth R9800s with new Liebherr D9812 V12 engines in the world's first repower of an R9800. After the repower, one R9800 set a new monthly production record of 1.752 million bank cubic meters of overburden moved in January 2025, with a peak dig rate of 3,032 bank cubic meters per hour and 92% availability. Now look at the Roy Hill iron ore mine in the Pilbara, owned by Hancock Prospecting. In late 2024, Liebherr Australia delivered an R9400 to Roy Hill. In March 2025, Liebherr delivered Roy Hill an R9800 painted bright pink in support of breast cancer awareness. A second R9800 was scheduled to follow by the second quarter of 2025. The R9800s pair with Liebherr T264, T274, and T284 mining trucks built at the Liebherr Newport News, Virginia factory. The truck and shovel pairing on these sites is now Liebherr on Liebherr, with no Cat shovel in the picture. Caterpillar did not give up on mining shovels entirely. While the 6090 went non-current, Cat doubled down on the Cat 7495 electric rope shovel at South Milwaukee. In 2021, Caterpillar rolled out HydraCrowd adaptive control upgrades on the 7495 and 7495 HF. In 2022, Caterpillar added bolt-on track-link sliders, redesigned swing racks, and updated tapered shear ledges to lower the 7495's total cost of ownership. In August 2023, Caterpillar celebrated 130 years of shovel manufacturing at South Milwaukee. At the Las Vegas Mine Expo show in September 2024, Caterpillar put the Cat 7495 at the center of its stand with a virtual reality experience. In June 2025, the Weir Group started delivering Esco Nex's lip upgrades to a Cat 7495 working a Brazilian iron ore mine. The Cat 7495 is alive and selling, while the Cat 6090 is non-current. The retreat is specifically out of the ultra-class hydraulic mining shovel category, with Caterpillar concentrating instead on rope. Let's be precise about what Caterpillar lost. The rope shovel business stayed at Caterpillar, with the Cat 7495 in active production at South Milwaukee. The smaller hydraulic shovel categories stayed at Caterpillar too, with the Cat 6020, 6030, 6040, and 6060 still in current production. What Caterpillar lost is the ultra-class hydraulic mining shovel race. The 800-ton hydraulic shovel that loads 320-ton trucks at the world's biggest open pits is a Liebherr R9800, with no current production Cat competitor in that class. The pattern is what should worry mine planners watching this. Caterpillar paid $8.6 billion in 2011 to own the world's biggest mining shovels. 15 years later, Liebherr's R9800 owns the new orders, sets production records at Mount Thorley Warkworth, and pairs with Liebherr's own diesel-electric trucks out of Newport News, Virginia. The same pattern already played out in mining trucks, in concrete pumps, and in mobile cranes. It is now at the pit face. If you've made it this far, hit subscribe so we can keep digging into stories like this. Next, we look at the Cat 793 versus the Liebherr T284 mining truck, and whether Caterpillar's haul truck dominance is following the shovel pattern.